Hello, everyone. If you've been relying on ED medications for years and still find yourself dealing with headaches, facial flushing, or that frustrating 45-minute wait for them to take effect, I have some news that could significantly change your approach to sexual health in the coming year. Today, we're discussing a breakthrough 3 decades in the making. My name is Dr. Rena Malik, and welcome to Medical Facts. I'm a urologist dedicated to providing clear, evidence-based information, and what I'm about to share with you is a detailed look at a new class of treatment that aims to solve the very problems men mention most often in my clinic: faster action, fewer side effects, and a return to spontaneity. Recent clinical data has been compelling, and by the end of this discussion, you'll understand why 2026 is poised to be a pivotal year for men managing erectile dysfunction. Before we get started, if you find this topic valuable, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us create more content like this, building a community focused on honest health information. Let's begin by covering exactly what we'll talk about today. First, we'll examine why the medications we've used for 30 years, while revolutionary, still leave significant gaps in care. Second, we'll identify the 2 major clinical challenges that lead many men to discontinue treatment altogether. Third, we'll explore a new molecule currently in final stage trials, detailing what sets it apart from existing options. And finally, I'll share a simple, natural strategy you can begin implementing today while we await this new development. I'll also provide a helpful checklist at the end for you to save. I'm genuinely interested in your perspective, so please share in the comments below. Let me know your name, your age, and where you're watching from. Are you navigating ED personally, or are you here to learn for someone you care about? Experiences help shape the content we create. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're committed to making this a trusted resource for practical, shame-free medical education. All right, let's move into our first key point, understanding why the medications we've trusted for decades still aren't quite good enough. To appreciate where we're going, it helps to remember where we've been. In the early 1990s, researchers testing a compound called sildenafil for heart conditions noticed an unexpected effect among male participants: markedly improved erections. That fortunate discovery became Viagra, and it truly changed the landscape of sexual health overnight. For the first time, there was a reliable oral medication to support erectile function. It was a monumental advance. Subsequently, other drugs joined this family, like tadalafil, known for its longer duration, and vardenafil, with a slightly different profile. They all operate on the same fundamental principle. They inhibit an enzyme called phosphodiesterase type 5, or PDE5. By blocking PDE5, these drugs promote the relaxation of blood vessels in the penis, allowing for increased blood flow and a firmer erection. This class of medication has restored confidence and intimacy for millions of men globally, and its importance cannot be overstated. However, the clinical reality, often absent from advertisements, is that after 3 decades of use, 2 persistent problems continue to frustrate patients and clinicians alike. The first is latency, the waiting time. Most men need to take sildenafil 30 to 60 minutes before intimacy. Tadalafil can take even longer to reach peak effect despite its extended duration. This delay fundamentally undermines spontaneity. It turns a moment of connection into a scheduled event, which for many drains the romance and excitement from the experience. The second problem is systemic side effects. These first-generation drugs are not perfectly selective. While they effectively block PDE5 in the penis, they also mildly inhibit similar enzymes elsewhere in the body. For instance, affecting PDE1 in the cardiovascular system can lead to palpitations, while impacting PDE6 in the eyes can cause visual disturbances like a blue tint or light sensitivity. The most common complaints I hear are headaches and facial flushing, which occur because the medication causes blood vessels throughout the entire body to dilate, not just where it's intended. For some men, these effects are mild, but for others, they are so uncomfortable that they stop the treatment entirely, even if it was effective for their erections. This brings us to the new molecule I mentioned earlier, which researchers are calling a 4th-generation PDE5 inhibitor. Early data suggests it is designed to tackle both of these core issues head on, offering a faster onset and a markedly improved side effect profile. It was developed from the ground up with precision in mind to be more selective and patient-friendly than its predecessors. The companies behind it view it as a refinement of 30 years of scientific progress. If the final trial data confirms the early results, 2026 could indeed herald the arrival of an ED medication that more closely aligns with what men have been asking for all along. To understand why this matters, we need to look a little closer at the science. Your body has at least 11 different types of phosphodiesterase enzymes, each with distinct roles in different tissues. PDE5 is concentrated in the smooth muscle of the penis, which is exactly where you want the drug to work. However, older medications have what we call cross-reactivity. They block PDE5 very well, but they also inadvertently block a bit of PDE1, PDE6, and PDE11, leading to those unwanted effects in the heart, eyes, and muscles. The new compound represents a leap in biochemical design. It has a much higher affinity for PDE5, meaning it binds to that specific enzyme like a perfect key in a lock, while largely ignoring the others. Think of it like this. Older drugs are like watering your garden with a broad spray that gets everything wet: the plant, the sidewalk, your shoes. This new approach is more like a precision drip system, delivering water directly to the roots of the plant you intend to nurture. The goal is the same, but the execution is far more targeted, aiming to provide the therapeutic benefit precisely where it's needed. Now, let's examine the data, because this is where promising theory meets measurable results. In Phase 2 and early Phase 3 trials, 3 key advantages have emerged when comparing this new molecule to standard treatments. First, the speed of onset. Studies noted an initial hemodynamic response, meaning measurable changes in penile blood flow, within just 12 to 15 minutes after taking the medication. Compared to the 30 to 60 minute wait with sildenafil, this effectively cuts the waiting time in half. This is crucial for spontaneity, allowing you to respond more naturally in the moment. Second, its therapeutic window or duration of effect has been optimized. It wasn't designed to last for 36 hours like tadalafil, but rather to occupy a practical sweet spot, long enough to allow for natural timing and multiple attempts if desired, but not so long that you carry side effects into the next day. It offers flexibility without rigid planning. Third, and perhaps most significantly, is tolerability. In comparative studies, the incidence of the 2 most common side effects, headache and facial flushing, was reduced by approximately 40%. To put that in perspective, if 50 out of 100 men reported headaches with an older drug, that number might drop to around 30 with this new option. Visual disturbances were also less common. This improvement is a direct result of its enhanced selectivity. While no medication is entirely side effect free, some trial participants still reported mild issues like nasal congestion, the overall profile appears significantly cleaner. When you combine a faster onset, a practical duration, and better tolerability, you address the core frustrations that have persisted for a generation. It represents a meaningful step forward. At this point, I need to provide some important context. As exciting as this development is, this new molecule is not yet available at your local pharmacy. As of the time of this recording, it has not received approval from major regulatory bodies like the FDA. It is still undergoing final clinical evaluation, which is a thorough and necessary process to ensure long-term safety and efficacy across diverse populations. The companies involved are submitting their Phase 3 data for review. Based on current timelines, the most realistic expectation for approval and commercial availability is sometime in 2026. I know the wait can be frustrating, especially if current treatments haven't been ideal for you, but it's essential to wait for the legitimate, approved product. Any source claiming to offer it now is not operating within legal or safe guidelines. Your safety is paramount. So what does this mean for you right now? This upcoming medication exemplifies what we call molecular refinement, the culmination of decades of research to improve upon a foundational idea. However, it's not a magic bullet. and it does not replace comprehensive medical care. The success of any ED treatment, new or old, begins with an accurate diagnosis from a qualified healthcare provider. Erectile dysfunction can be an early warning sign of underlying conditions like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, or hormonal imbalances, and these must be addressed. A pill assists with the mechanics, but it doesn't treat the root cause. While we await this new option in 2026, there are proactive, evidence-based steps you can take today to support your vascular health, which is fundamental to erectile function. One simple strategy involves 2 readily available foods, beets and watermelon. Here's a quick recipe. Blend 1 peeled, chopped raw beet with about 2 cups of chopped fresh watermelon and half a cup of water until smooth. Drink this 30 to 60 minutes before a meal, ideally in the morning or afternoon. The science behind this is solid. Both foods are rich in natural nitrates and amino acids like citrulline and watermelon that your body converts into nitric oxide. This is the very molecule that PDE5 inhibitors work to preserve. Nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels, promoting better circulation. This isn't an instant pill-like effect, but rather a way to nourish your vascular system over time. Consistency is key. Some men notice improvements in a few weeks. This approach also highlights a critical point. Erectile health is deeply connected to overall cardiovascular health. Supporting one supports the other. I encourage you to pair this with other foundational habits. Aim for 30 minutes of daily walking, prioritize 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, and consider moderating alcohol intake. These lifestyle pillars, while not always highlighted, create the optimal internal environment for any treatment to work best. Building these habits now means you'll be in a stronger position to benefit when new medications arrive. If this deep dive into the future of ED treatment was helpful, I'd appreciate it if you shared this video with someone who might benefit from this information. Opening up these conversations helps reduce stigma and empowers more people to seek help. Also, let me know in the comments what you think about these upcoming developments. Are you optimistic about what 2026 might bring? To bring everything together, this new 4th generation PDE5 inhibitor is a promising advancement that directly targets the long-standing limitations of slow onset and systemic side effects. Clinical data indicates it acts faster, lasts for a practical window, and is better tolerated. It is expected to become a valuable new option in 2026. Please remember, however, that the most effective care plan always starts with a professional consultation. ED is more than a mechanical issue, it's often a signal from your body. A urologist can help you understand the full picture and tailor a solution, which may include lifestyle changes, existing medications, or eventually new options like the one we discussed, specifically for you. Stay informed, stay proactive, and continue to have open conversations with your doctor. Your long-term health is worth it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.